Good day again, everybody. I'll be speaking about Georgia. Georgia is a small state located in South Caucasus, and it's a post-Soviet state with a parliamentary republic system. And so, current Georgian constitution was adopted in 1995, the acting constitution, but modern historical roots of Georgian constitutionalism or constitution starts from 1921, but it was quite a short life for the time constitution, because after that Georgia became a part of the Soviet Union, and until 1991 Georgia experienced several drafts of Soviet constitutions. Actually, all Soviet constitutions, Georgian Soviet constitutions, enjoyed quite great quality of the formal democratic standards like social rights protection, principles of solidarity, and minority rights and welfare for all, and so on. But so, following the disintegration of the Soviet Union, we had a fundamental law that was the version of the constitution, but the formal constitution, the state adopted in 1995, and since 1995 until today, the Georgian constitution experienced several changes, and mostly it was a subject of the political preferences or even ideological preferences of the Georgia's post-Soviet ruling elites from 90s until now. For example, from the very beginning in 90s, Georgia was a presidential republic with a very powerful domination of the institute of the president, but we moved to the parliamentary system several years ago, so again from 1995 until today, the Georgian constitution was changed several times, and in fact the deliberative practice until 2017 was mostly an elitist practice. So there was a state constitutional commission that included members mostly from political field and also from civil society field, but it was mostly an elite-driven practice. So the greater practice of deliberative democracy in the process of the constitution making in Georgia arrived in 2017, and actually I call this process as the symbol of the ideological battlefield. So during this process in 2017, when Georgian constitution was subject of very serious changes in order to finalize the movement towards parliamentary system, during these changes, the deliberative practice became a symbol of the ideological struggle, especially between neoliberal and liberal democratic groups who are dominant in Georgia from last 25 years at least, and the social activists and the scholars coming mostly from left-wing communities. So it was a quite large ideological battlefield, and one of the major topics during this deliberative process was focused on taxation, because the Georgian constitution has very strange constitutional norms, which says that taxation must be changing or introducing new taxes must be subject of the referendum. And this was actually constitutional norm, which was creating a guarantee for Georgia's neoliberal democracy, because Georgian democracy from last 2 decades is captured in the discourse of neoliberal democracy. And so left-wing scholars and some politicians and activists were in confrontation with the neoliberal and liberal groups. So this first process of big, let's say, wave of the deliberative democracy was characterized with ideological struggle. But even though it was quite a good step taken by government to introduce this method, and actually citizens welcomed this approach that they introduced the draft of Georgian constitution to small towns and to big cities. Even though it was a good step towards development of deliberative mechanism, it still remained the formal ritual for the liberal democratic culture. I mean, still elites took a decision according to their ideological preferences, and the ruling party was still eager to preserve the constitutional norms which were according to their ideological agenda. And so, in fact, the impressions are that the deliberative mechanism was used as a formal ritual in order to legitimize the certain elements of the procedures of the liberal democracy. And in fact, citizens were used as a target of this formal ritual. But still, of course, this is better than it was before, because, as I mentioned, because before the constitution making process in Georgia was characterized mostly as an elitist process. So now the situation is changed, and the changes in Georgian constitution normally becomes part of the great public deliberation. But still, what must be done is to deconstruct the impressions that this is a formal ritual. Thank you.